Guys, please like and subscribe. Follow my Facebook page for the latest updates. This is basically the pond when it was just complete. The cement work's done. The most of the rock formations and the water features are pretty much done. So the next steps for them to drain the water, and it was pretty much ready for EcoSands to start. Here I'm just quickly showing you guys the filter room or the sump room. So this is where the water will be running for the water features. They're gonna put two pumps here for two water features on the big pond, and then one pump here for one water feature in the small pond. Here you can see it was a real big effort to get the EcoSands filtration media into the pond because the place where it is really high up and there's no clear road to it, so we were actually forced to use a crane to transfer like that. Each packet you can see there's 1 ton of rocks and stones and sand, so we literally had to like take the entire thing by crane, and then you see the worker there just slices it from the bottom to let it all fall out. Otherwise it's going to take months to fill up the whole thing if you carry it small bag by small bag. So yeah, they do this about 20 times. It's about 20 tons of sand and rocks. Pretty crazy. And yeah, the workers literally have to just like scrape it by hand to evenly spread out the rocks and sand. This part of the video is showing some of the equipment that they're going to use for the EcoSands filtration. So here you can see like really big pumps. Here you can see this is like not acrylic, fiberglass like fake rocks to hide the pumps under, to protect it from the big fish and also to make it look more natural. And yeah, these are what the big pumps look like out of the box. So just showing you some of the equipment that was used for the EcoSands filtration. Here you guys can see that they're pretty much finished raking and spreading out the EcoSands. So it's pretty much almost ready for the water to go in. They just have to install the pumps and put the fiberglass rocks over them to protect them. Yeah, here you can see everything's been installed and water is
Make sure I don't fall off the edge.
So we just intend to fill up the water at minimal amount first, just about maybe like 1.5 foot at the start, to let the bacteria culture,
yeah, just make sure the
let
piping's
algae
fine.
grow, stick to the walls and stuff. So we're just filling it up slowly here. You can see the water's filling up really slowly because it's a new place, so the water pressure is not very high. So it'll literally take days to fill up this pond. Check it out, look how weak the water pressure is. But it is filling slowly but surely. And this is the koi pond next to it, the 20 by 20 foot pond. Water hasn't been filled up yet, but it's pretty much ready to go. All the EcoSands filtration's been installed inside. So pretty excited. Yeah, here the water's already been filled up to around 2 feet in depth. So we're just testing out the water feature. So that's how the water feature in the corners will look like. And water's been in, the filter's been going on for about a day here, and it's really cleared up a lot. Pretty clear. So yeah, it's pretty much we had to leave it for a while, almost ready for fish. This was like a week later, so where he's catching the koi. We just transferred the smaller fish first because the larger fish are not quite ready yet. The water's too shallow, and we weren't ready for them yet. But it was already ready for smaller fish, so we thought we'd put them in to also promote and to kind of kickstart the whole bacterial
Oh, my car's
cycle
full of things. Yeah. Okay.
filtration system. It's crazy when they take the koi out of the water, you can really see like the size of the fish, which is crazy because like you can see how big it is there compared to the one behind the man in the pond, and it's night and day, man. These beasts are about almost 30 inches in length.
Wow, my koi's so big
Just
already.
so
I didn't
big
know.
from when I first got them a couple of years ago. It's interesting here. You see, inside that blue fiberglass tub is actually iced water. So we're actually putting cold water inside the packet where the koi is in order to put them in a state of, well, not really comatose, but in a state of trance, so they're a little more calm and they don't move during transportation. And this is kind of like the natural way of putting them to sleep, kind of, rather than using chemicals, which is quite dangerous because sometimes your fish can't wake up. And here you can see they're just pumping oxygen to the packet. No dramas here, the kois are really good, they actually didn't put up much of a fight and they're quite easy to catch. Catching the silver arowana was probably the hardest, even harder than the other two, the green and the Giardini, because they just have such sensitive spines, and he actually traveled the worst. Like, he didn't do so well the first day, and he's still not eating after like a week. But yeah, you can see here it's pretty traumatic. They're trying to get it head first into the koi net, which is probably a net that'll damage them the least, other than a plastic bag. So yeah, you can see here he's trying to maneuver the head into the koi net. Pretty traumatic. He got pretty injured with this method. So yeah, once the fish was secured in the koi net, they literally just run and put them in the fiberglass tank with oxygen prepared in the truck. The next one's catching the Giardini and green arowanas, and they were a bit easier because they weren't as elongated, so the spines are a little bit more robust and they're easier to catch. They're not as sensitive as silver arowanas. Finally caught him here, and I'll just quickly show you guys like where he's running to. I fast forwarded this part. So running up the stairs all the way, good exercise. And yeah, there was a pickup truck here kind of installed in the fiberglass pump with oxygen bubbles inside. Silver, Giardini and green. And finally we got to the site, and this is where we're releasing. Yeah, these are the arowanas. The silver here is like really drowsy, feeling a bit like dizzy and faint after the long journey. The guy's just trying to wake him up a little bit, just so he can breathe properly when he's inside. But the water's also really oxygenated in the pond because the pumps are really strong, and the water has a lot of water flow, so it kind of helps him wake up faster. But there's the I can't tell. I think it's the green or Giardini. There we go, the silver's freezing, really groggy. Kind of takes a while to wake up for a sec. He definitely traveled the worst out of all my fish. Out of the small fish I transferred anyway. There's the green arowana, I think. There's the jar. All three in their new home. Only 2 feet deep. And this is the release of the koi. So yeah, they travel quite easily actually, quite hardy. And the gourami section, koi is acclimated, they're a little bit more sensitive than gourami. Other koi. That's the other gourami. So far I've transferred 3 arowanas, 2 koi, my 2 kohakus, and 2 gouramis. Just a small fish first. The big fish will come later when the water depth is risen. So probably by the next few weeks or so. They're just letting the water temperature match the temperature inside the bag here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll ask him. Don't know why. I thought he said he did it already. Huh?
Here the fish are finally free. The 4 fish here, 2.2 gourami in the friendly passive pond. See they settled in pretty quickly. They're swimming healthily, enjoying a lot of water flow, oxygen from the ecosystem system. Enjoying the waterfall for a little more oxygen. And yeah, they're doing really well. This is when they were first released, but doing even better now, already eating. These are the arowanas when they were first transferred in. Yeah, they look really small, but they're actually over 2 feet each. And that's the silver arowana there in the left-hand corner. Kind of struggling a bit, to be honest. I was a little bit worried because he wasn't doing so well. He was injured, a bit drowsy, so I was actually pretty worried about his health at the start anyway. But after only a day, this was him the next day. Hold on. Not on this one. This is still the same video. Yeah, so the arowanas were like exploring a new home, a lot of space, so they were probably wondering like, whoa, where am I? Okay, so now this video was taken the next day. You can see here the silver arowana doing way better. He's swimming properly, a lot smoother, a lot more chilled. So yeah, I was kind of relieved.
Sudah bangun already. Sudah bangun sih.
And they've kind of like that point under the waterfall.
Okay, already.
Probably nice and shaded. And they feel kind of protected. Yep, this last video of the silver arowana, the latest one. The water's still 2 feet here, but now I'm raising it by 1 more feet. So by a couple of weeks, it should be over 5 feet, which is where we want it to be for the big boys to come in after that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Sorry for the long delay. Look out for part 2 where the big boys get transferred. Peace.